Hey, everybody, this is Rob Lowe coming to you live backstage from the Giving Back podcast. Insights, number 80 today, talking about pride. What an incredible morning and afternoon, 5 hours of stream of love. That's all I can tell you. It's amazing. And there's so many people in my life that I've met over the past 2 years in particular that have just been an incredible influence in me. Not just in terms of nonprofits and working with them and businesses who are purpose driven, but also the idea of expanding my life and making things happen. So special shout out to everybody. You know who you are. So 3, 2, and 1. Today on the cover, you'll see this family. One little girl's got pride written up there. And there are 3 of them, mom and 2 kids, and they look happy and lovely and having fun. And another picture they have, they're just absolutely laughing and having a great time at the party. The party called Pride SF. And what I think about with Pride is family values. I mean, it's a really pretty crazy day. There's 5 hours floating by, and it's got everything that you can imagine with the gay pride parade that it might be. I mean, we kick off with Dykes on bikes, and you hear them roaring, absolutely roaring, coming down the path and kicking us all off. And I think about 40 years ago, how that must have looked, how that must have felt. A very small group, very small parade, courage to come out, courage to live their life, standing up for the freedom to love who they choose to love. That's a big theme. And I looked at them, and I had just every time they kick it off, every time I hear that, and every time I see them coming by, some of them older, some of them younger, some of them on scooters, some of them on Harleys, and the guys, riding in support. I just feel so much joy. Really just so much joy that we can celebrate that, and how lucky I am to live in this area. There's some really solemn marches or solemn floats, remembering the Pulse nightclub. That was really big, really brought on a lot of applause and a bit of silence too, thinking about it. There's of course a lot of flamboyance. They had the tall walkers, these super good-looking guys with completely buff, with these big angel wings, walking on 5-6 foot stilts and hanging out, looking great. By the way, the calendar guys, the calendar float. I think it's the 35th year of the topless guys. Putting that together. It looks, and they're pretty good-looking guys too. Just to let you know, there's some Risque. Right, the bears and the furries among some of them, out and having fun. Saw a furry from Rochester, go Flower City, and they were having just a lot of fun. Must have been pretty hot out in those things too, but there were dozens of them, and just really having fun. I saw solidarity, churches, many churches gathering together, making their stand, standing up for what they believe in, inclusion and love. I saw unions for sure, a lot of unions in solidarity, and I got a flyer for a movie called Pride, and this was back. I think this was back in the 80s. When a group of gay advocates went out to, I think it was a mining town a Welsh mining town, I think, and were there to raise money, and they were rejected and then accepted. It was actually pretty cool movie. Corporate, lots and lots of corporate presence. Apple, Kaiser, Uber, among many who were there. It just runs a gamut. Gilead had this great float called, I think it was Many Lives, One Community, or something like that. It was very cool. yeah, Intuit and just in so many, and from out of state as well. Not just here, Amazon, Microsoft making their presence known. A lot of politics, right? A lot of folks out there showing their support. Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, Mayor-elect London Breed, San Francisco Mayor-elect London Breed, and my man Gavin Newsom, Gavin 2028. That's what I got to say, But first step, governor. That's where we need to go. One of the things that I saw that actually struck me and my wife, and this was about progress. We saw in short order SFPD were there walking. Some of them with their partners, some of them with their families, and then we saw the sheriff's department. And in fact, with the sheriff's department, they had a color guard and raising flags, right? City and county, San Francisco, California, America, and the rainbow flag, which was just really stunning to see that. I was really proud to see that. And then SF, the fire department. And one of the things that we saw and noted on is because, it wasn't that long ago, in my lifetime, that there was the opposite ends. And of course, personal beliefs and values, that's something else. But where there was a real animosity and violence, and to see that is a real mark of progress. And it was actually very cool to be present and to see that and to think about that just a little bit and what that means. In fact, a few days ago, I had a conversation with Vivian Hexter, from H2 Growth Strategies. Among some of their accomplishments is raising $1.5 billion for 100 charities, which is like just insane. But anyway, we were talking about the book she wrote with her partner Linda C. Hartley called "Big Impact: Insights and Stories from America's Nonprofit Leaders," and one of the leaders that she cited numerous times, because he was in a very unique situation, was the leader of Freedom to Marry. And we talked about personally how it affected us and what we saw coming out of that, and changes in society and changes in how people see things, and how it moved. It moved from the right to marry and took on a very different tone, and thinking about the freedom to love who has captured your heart, and what a difference that makes, and how that resonates, and how people can personalize that. I know for myself, I was thinking about Loving versus Virginia. I mean, this was when, in the year I was born, that was the case with, I can't remember how to say it. It's the anti-mixing, anti-miscegeneticism, or I don't know what it is. But anyway, in some states, colors and whites were not legally allowed to marry. And that was struck down the year I was born. So it's not that far off, and you see that progress. So this, for years, Pride in going out there has been a family event for us. I want my kids to see what's happening in our community. I want them to celebrate progress, what I see as progress. I have a sharp reminder for myself that I grew up so differently. And it just feels so, that's part of the reason I feel so lucky to be here, to see that and to get to know people, because that's where it all starts, right? It's one-on-one. And most of all, I want them to see love, and I want them to see support, and what a huge difference that makes for people. So my friend, Pastor Steve Stone from Heart Song Church in Tennessee, after our interview with him and Dr. Bashar Shalah from the Memphis Islamic Center, after our interview, he sent me something. I just had some questions about how he reconciles some things, or how he helps other people reconcile as well, homosexuality in the church. because at that time his church, I can't remember exactly which denomination it was, didn't allow marriage of same sex. And he shared with me a letter he wrote in response to an email from Beth, who wanted to know if Steve and Heartsong had an open and affirming atmosphere to people from all walks of faith. His reply to her was accepted as a stance of Heartsong Church this was January 2003. This was a while ago. And it included this passage. We would rather stand before the Lord someday and hear him say, "You were a bit too liberal about the homosexuality thing," than to hear him say, "Your attitude about homosexuality really hurt some of my children and actually kept them from coming to know me and spend life with me." That was a huge, huge give. That was very cool of him to share that with me. And I decided that I could live my life with that philosophy, and I could go to my Creator open to the outcome. So long live Pride, and I hope we get to see that really, truly as family values. So remember, always there on the side of love and kindness. Thanks for joining me. Until the next time, love and gratitude. So, hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. Really, it's just a wonderful, wonderful time out there. I wish you so much love. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week.